started recording. Yeah. So yeah, I prepared one slide actually. You can see, right? Okay. SaaS deployments. So SaaS deployment means actually there are two types of installations. Okay. One is the SaaS foundation. The other one is the SaaS platform. Okay. And the SaaS VR. There are three things actually here. The SaaS foundation, SaaS platform 9.4 and SaaS VR. There are three types of softwares. The first one is the SaaS foundation. This is mandatory. I mean, whether to run the SaaS platform or the SaaS VR tools also, we need the SaaS foundation. So that is mandatory. Then what is the SaaS platform 9.4 means? It is excluding the SaaS VR up to 9.4. You know, there are different versions of SaaS website, 9.4, 1M, 2M, 3M, 4M like that. So from 4M onwards, SaaS introduced the SaaS VR. So before 4M, there was only SaaS platform 9.4. Means within the 9.4, there are subversions like M1, M2, M3, M4. So from M4 onwards, it introduced the SaaS VR. So I have M3 in my system. Okay, if I have M4, then I would have like install the SaaS VR also, but I don't have the SaaS VR in my system. So I have SaaS foundation as well as the SaaS platform 9.4. Okay, let me explain you what is the foundation and what is the VR and what is the SaaS platform 9.4. Yeah. So this is the SaaS platform. SaaS platform is just now I told you. First is the foundation. Foundation is the base SaaS. Base SaaS, SaaS Studio, Enterprise Guide, all this comes in the foundation. Then platform is two parts. SaaS 9.4, it's a intelligence platform. This is called a SaaS VR. Then let's see what is the SaaS foundation. As I told you, there are three types of SaaS foundation tools. One is the SaaS windowing environment, the one which we are doing. It's nothing but the base SaaS. Second one is the SaaS Enterprise Guide, where we need, we don't need any type of the coding. It is just a point and click, GUI based. Okay. And we also call it a power tool. Then the third one is SaaS Studio. So what is a SaaS Studio? SaaS Studio means it's we can access it through web browser. Okay, I mean there won't be any client tool. So you'll be giving, you'll be given a link. Then you need to connect to that URL, and you can start using the environment just like the basis.
I have worked on this SaaS Studio.
SaaS Studio, right? Okay. Yeah. Later coming to the SaaS platform. SaaS platform, SaaS VR, right? These are the two things. Then SaaS platform is all these what we are doing, enterprise business intelligence like a DS Studio, OLAP Cube Studio, like for all the business solutions, okay? Data management purpose, even data flex, all this comes in the SaaS platform only. The one which you are learning, DS Studio is also a part of the SaaS platform. In the SaaS platform, again, we have three types. One is the business intelligence, then business solutions, and the data management. Data management means data flux will comes under the data management. Then DA Studio also it comes in the data management. Business intelligence means all the reporting tools like and business solutions are all the web browsers are we can also call it the reporting tools, and high performance analytics also we can do using this SaaS platform. Okay. Yeah, as I told you, we can install the SaaS software in two systems. If your company is very big company, so you're planning to install in multiple systems, then you can use the entires. Anyway, we need to install the SaaS foundation in one system. Okay, the platform tools you can use. You can install in a single system also. If your company is very small, so if you want to install everything in one system, like for teaching purpose, usually what the instructor do, they will install everything in one system because we don't have multiple tier environment. So the virtual machine which I have provided, it's a single tier only because everything is there in the single machine only, right? But in companies, we don't have access to all the machines. So if you're working on DS Studio, then you'll be having only access to the DS Studio. Okay, even you won't be having the bases also in your system. Okay, there's a connect server. Whenever you run a code, okay, that code will be carried to the SaaS environment by the workspace servers or pool workspace servers. There it will get executed and the results will be played back again in your environment. Okay. So we can install a SaaS foundation, then single tier in one system, or else you can install a SaaS foundation in one system and the remaining all the tiers in different systems. Okay. Then we have SaaS high performance analytics also. So it is nothing but the SaaS BI only, SaaS EBI only. But uh, instead of installing in one system, so we are installing in multiple systems. Okay. So what this SaaS high performance analytics means, if you are performing like huge analytics, maybe machine learning or deep learning algorithms or whatever you are running. So uh, I mean, it won't be a problem. Okay, if you distribute, the workload to different servers, just like the grid computing. Okay, so here when you connect our environment to some controllers, okay, then SAS procedures, then whatever the thread programs we are running, then whatever the SQL queries you are running, or any model if you are running, so these will run inside the databases. Okay. So the SaaS high performance analytics infrastructure consists of software that perform analytic tasks in a high performance environment. Okay, so which is characterized massively parallel processing. It's a parallel processing, so that the workload will be distributed equally among all the controllers. Like if you're working on big data Hadoop, like this.
So then what is the difference between this high performance analytics and grid computing? Is there any difference?
Actually, yeah. Grid computing means, see, high performance analytics means usually it's a big data within within the databases. Means all these programs, okay, run inside the database. Okay, then this is the missions actually. Servers. The servers will share the workload. Okay, here the databases will share the workload. Got it. High performance analytics means all the SaaS programs, whatever it may be. Okay. Uh, See, for example, we have like 100 GB data. Okay. So if you have 100 GB data like Hadoop or any other databases like Greenplum or Teradata, okay. So what happens? The SaaS in-memory analytics, it will divide the analytical process like 10 GB, 10 GB like that. Okay. So massively parallel processing means instead of performing the analysis on 100 GB data, so it will divide the data like 10 GB, 10 GB, 10 GB, and it will perform parallel analysis on all the, thread programs. Thread
I
programs.
understand, but here my doubt is like this is, I mean, this high performance analytics only for connecting and fetching the data from the databases, or is there
Databases.
any
Yeah, databases.
only for databases?
Yeah, only for databases. It's not for, sharing the server environment.
Okay,
So
okay.
then this is high performance analytics. It's a grid computing. Grid computing is like it will utilize the maximum resources, okay, and the RAM for all the servers. I mean, that is a database. So this is the, workload management. Usually we call this a workload management. It has grid manager. Okay. Even this grid manager also, earlier, we used to manage the grid computing by the SaaS management console. But recently from 9.4, like M4 onwards, the SaaS environment manager has been created, SaaS environment manager. Then using the environment manager also, we can manage the grid computing, and we can do a lot of things using the environment manager. Okay. So this is like workload management. Okay. Then coming to the data management. So data management, just now we discussed data integration studio, then data flux, data quality server. It's also it's a part of the data flux only. Okay. Then data loader for Hadoop. These all considered as the data management tools. We have different tools, right? Data management tool, admin tools, reporting tools, quality tool, then OLAP, billing cube, like that. So these tools will manage the data. DA Studio, data loader for Hadoop. Anyway, the data loader for Hadoop means it's like a server. Okay, it will connect to the Hadoop and it will load the data to the Hadoop. Then Data Flux Management Studio, then data quality server. So these are the data management components. Then coming to the advanced analytics. So SAS also having some advanced analytical tools like Enterprise Miner, Forecast Server, SAS Model Manager, and John's Macintosh project. That's the JMP. That is only for the statistical analysis purpose, and for data mining also you can use the JMP. So yeah, these are the advanced analytical tools. We can use these as a standalone tools, okay, or you can include these in the SAS intelligence platform also. Then coming to the business intelligence. So in the business intelligence, as I told you, one is EBI, means Enterprise Business Intelligence Server, the one which you are learning, like Management Console, DA Studio, LabCube Studio, all these comes in the EBI, Enterprise Business Intelligence. And we have a separate tools called the Office Analytics and Visual Analytics. These also comes in the business intelligence only. But these were introduced later. These are the new tools actually. Earlier, there was only SAS EBA only, but later they developed the Office analytical tools and visual analytical tools also. Okay. Then what is the visual analytics? I think you know this one. It is for the data visualization purpose. Okay, so it will work with a server called the SAS Laser Analytical Server, Laser Analytics Server. Okay, then yeah, these are the different roles. SAS platform job roles. Statistician will be there. Platform administrator who will administer the entire platform, like a SAS platform, like installation, configuration, deployment, troubleshooting. Okay, I will explain the role of the administrator also. Then business analyst, he will be generating the reports. Power user, okay, the person who used the enterprise guide. Then data scientist, who uses via to create the models and others. Information consumer or end user can access the information from the portals or portlets. Then DA developer, data integration developer, like there are different job roles. Then coming to the platform applications. So what are the platform applications? One is the data management. When we can classify as three parts: data management, analytics, and reporting. So what's the data management? Just now we discussed DA Studio, Dataflux, OLAP Cube Studio. Even you can consider the OLAP Cube Studio also, because we are converting the data into the multidimensional cubes. So that is also client tier, client environment, where we can access and convert your databases to the OLAP cubes. Okay. Then analytics. We can perform different types of analytics using Enterprise Miner, Model Manager, JMP, Forecast Server. Okay. Then these are the foundation tools like SAS Enterprise Guide and SAS Studio. Then reporting purpose, we have multiple reporting tools like information delivery portal, dashboard. Then actually this is the platform. So this is an important thing. There are four types of the tiers. Four types of tiers is very important one. One is called the client tier. The second one is called the web tier. Web tier is also called as a middle tier. All the web tiers are considered as a middle tier only. One is a client tier. The second one is a web tier. The third one is the server tier. The fourth one is called the data tier. So there are four tiers in the SaaS platform architecture. So what's the client tier? So you'll be working on normal basis. So where we can see the environment, where we can work, where we can drag it. We can define a library. We can create the environment, and we can make the analysis. Like the client, you can see, you can feel the work environment. So that's called the client area. So what are the client area? You can see the enterprise guide, DA Studio, LabCube Studio, Information Map Studio, Management Console. All these are called the client tiers. Then middle tier. Middle tier is nothing but the server, the web tier. Web tier means the tools you can access through the Internet Explorer or web browser. So those are called the middle tier, like Web Report Studio yesterday we have done. Then stored process web application or BA dashboards. Even SAS environment manager also, it will work on the, we can access it through the web browser only. And even SAS Studio also. Okay, like this, all these considered as a web tier or middle tier. Then we have different types of servers. We call all these servers as a server tier. So we have a metadata server, workspace server, pool workspace server, OLAP server, stored process server. Like that, we have different types of servers, and we'll be discussing all these servers in detail later. Then coming to the data tier. What's the data tier? We have different types of data sources. One is the data sets, then OLAP cubes, then even big data and Hadoop, those type of data also we can connect. Then ERP systems, okay, enterprise resource planning, then third party data sources, any type of data that comes under the data tier only. So we have 4 tiers in the SaaS architecture. So in this architecture, okay, I will explain it later once again in detail. Then coming to the administration. So what is the role of the SaaS administrator? So actually the administrator having 4 types of different tasks. First one is deployment administration task. So what do you mean by deployment administration task? For example, we purchase the SaaS software from the SaaS Institute. So what they will do, they will give the complete software depot. Okay, I will show how the depot looks like. See, this is the SaaS software depot. It's a complete depot. So they will provide us this depot like this. Okay. Then they will give us some documents also, how to install. Then here we have the order summary. Order summary means these softwares we purchased with this order. But some company, they purchase this order. So what are all the products included in this order? So you can see advanced analytics, then base size, statistical procedures, data flux, then all this app dev studio, application development studio, Microsoft Add-in, deployment tester, enterprise miner, okay, then high performance grid manager, metadata, OLAP server, strategy management data, SaaS studio, everything is there, visual analytics, web report studio. So this company, they purchase with this order number. And also we have an SOI. SOI means SaaS order information. So this particular company, so they want to install these tools in Windows Server, okay, and this scalable performance data server, we call it the SPD, SaaS scalable performance server. It is to connect to the huge databases and loading those databases into your SaaS environment in a faster manner. We'll be using this server, SaaS scalable performance data server, and server engine, data engine will be there. So they want to install this in one more mission like this. JMP, they want to install another mission. Then for Linux, so this like this, they purchase the SOI. Okay. Yeah, SaaS order information. This is. Then, yeah, these are the tools. Okay, and we have the hot fixes also. Okay? Then I want to install not all this in a single system. So I want to deploy. Deploy means subset. So I made a deployment here, subset of SaaS depot. Okay. Actually, what is the total size of the software? Here it is around some 48 GB or something. Means it's a complete SaaS software depot we purchased. Okay, around some 40, 45 something. But I deployed this one. I deployed means based on my system, whether it is 64-bit or 34-bit or Windows Server or Windows Workstation or Linux. Okay, so we have to make the deployment. Deployment means extract the required part from this, the master software, okay, and then make a subset. So here, this is 46.6, 46.3 GB. This is a complete one. So I deployed it actually. So subset of SaaS depot. So in this, we have only the selected software. So I want to install only the data management tools like data flux only, or I want to install only the data miner tools only. Then we have to make a subset. Okay. Then after, that's called as deploying. Then while deploying, you have to select the tools, whatever you want to install. Now it is 22.6 only. So in this 22.6, I just selected few tools. Okay, that to client servers only. Then when I install this one, it will install only whatever the deployed things we selected. Okay, so that's called a deployment. So it's also a role of the administrator only. First one is deployment administration task. Okay, let me show you what the deployment administration task. So one is client application provisioning. What client softwares you want to install, you have to select. The second one, authentication. So you have to create the users. Okay, you have to create the privileges, groups, and everything, authentications, then encryption, backup, and restore. Then now your deployment. So this is how to deploy. Just now I shown you. We have the complete SaaS software depot. So we have everything here, SaaS software depot. Then we have to deploy. Deployment wizard. There is a SaaS deployment wizard. It looks like this. Go to the SaaS. See, there's a deployment manager. Okay, so you can install the deployment manager. Then from the deployment manager, like what tools you want to deploy. It's nothing but making subsetting only. Okay, like this. Later we have to deploy all those. Okay, then finally you will be loading into one folder. So this is the deployed software. If you want to install only the base SaaS in your system, I have a SaaS software of some 45 50 GB. So no need to share that 50 GB to you. So just deploy only the base SaaS. So it will be some around some 4 or 5 GB only. Then I can share that 5 GB to you very easily so that you can install the base SaaS software in your system. Okay. So we can share the software by deploying into different parts, and we can install in different systems. Like some people, they need the DS Studio. Okay. Some people, they need only client aids, web aids, like that. So based on that, we have to subset them. Okay. Then the second one is metadata administration task. One is the deployment. Then what is the metadata? So metadata administration means we have a lot of things in the metadata. So metadata administration, we can do it by using two things. I mean, two tools. One is the management console. The other one is the SaaS environment manager. So what are the metadata tasks actually? User management comes in the metadata task only. Data access management, it comes under the metadata task. Authorization and folder structure, moving metadata content, metadata backups, all this comes under metadata. So you know what is metadata, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, what is metadata? For example, can you just give me an example of how to define the metadata? For example, okay, so this is the management console. In the management console, we have one plugin called the metadata manager. So in the metadata manager, you can find the foundation repository and some project repositories also there. Okay, and metadata replication, metadata backup, and restore. So these are the things we have in the metadata manager. So what do you mean by metadata? Okay, let me give a small example to you. There's a library. Okay, so in the library, I mean, all the books and everything will be organized in a proper way. Okay? If you want a particular book, usually we'll be visiting a library and you just approach the librarian, then he will give you that particular book within seconds, right? I mean, it won't take that much of time. I mean, though the library contains some thousands or millions of books also, it won't take much time. Less than a minute, he will give you whatever the book you ask, right? Then how he will give you that book? I mean, without searching all the, I mean, that racks and all those, because he will be maintaining a register, right? So let us assume there are like different types of registers. One is, the comics and freedom fighters, then like politicians, autobiography, like that. He will organize, okay, all the books, okay, and he will be maintaining a separate register for each section. Okay, so for example, you want information like when Mahatma Gandhi shot dead. Okay, so you need this information when Mahatma Gandhi shot dead. So you approach the librarian, then he will search for a freedom fighters book, okay, register. He will be maintaining a register called the freedom fighters. Then he will give you that register. In the register, you can find different names, the name of the freedom fighters. Then check the Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi name is in some third or fourth row. Then it will give the details like the Mahatma Gandhi books are in some 30th page or 40th page. Then go to the 30th or 40th page and see the details of the books written on Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, then you choose one book. If you choose a book, then I mean that register or that particular page contains the information about that book. Okay, it won't give you the information about like when Mahatma Gandhi shot dead. it gives the information about that book. So the book is present in third row or fourth rack, or there are lines, right? So go to the third line, and there is a fourth rack. In the fourth rack again, it is in the third shelf, then fourth book, like that. So it contains information about the book, okay, where it is located. Then take that location, then go to that place and find out that book very easily, and then open the book. The book will give you the actual information. So you are looking for an information, you are looking for a data. So what is the data? The data is nothing but when the Mahatma Gandhi shot dead. So this is the information you want. So to get this information, you are not directly getting this information. So initially you are getting the information about that book, where it is located, right? So to get your information, you are going through some other information which is not relevant to you actually. Okay, so that information is called the metadata. So without metadata, you won't have the access to your actual data. So what is the metadata here? The location of the book. Okay, the location of the book is called the metadata, and who has written the book. Okay, and how many pages are there in the book. Okay, I mean, the entire information about that book is called the metadata. Okay? That's why we call the metadata as the data about the data. So it is one kind of data only. So that data is providing you actual information or giving you the details of the actual data. So that's why we call the metadata as the data about the data. Okay. Then here, I mean, how you define the metadata? For example, I accessed a table which is present in some Access environment or some Excel environment. Okay, so in some location, in some remote system, I have some data in the form of Excel. So I am connecting to that Excel. I am defining that location by defining a library or by defining some database connectivity. I am just defining that location. So if you define that location, if you share this information to some other person, he can access that Excel file very easily because you are providing that information where it is located, right? So the source location, whatever you are connecting, is nothing but the metadata, right? Then you are calculating how many rows and how many columns are there and what is the size of the Excel. Even that is also called the metadata. And as a user, for example, as a Kranti, I'm connecting to the database. So who is connecting to the database? So username, it comes in the metadata. When you are connecting to the database, that is a metadata. Means the metadata means it is having the entire information about the database, but you won't get the actual data. Got it? So you won't get the actual data means
I mean,
you are not
we
getting,
cannot get the data inside the Excel file.
metadata will give just the information about the file and other things, users, time, and all those things, but it won't give you the actual information. Okay. So actual information means using this metadata, you have to get the actual information. So metadata contains no any actual data. It is just the metadata only. Okay. So we connected to multiple databases and we are defining the metadata. Then give this metadata to some other person so that he can easily understand where they are located. Okay. So that is the metadata. Okay, yeah, one second. So this metadata management also we have to do, like moving metadata content, authorization and folder structure. Usually the metadata will be stored in the form of the folders only. Then data access management, all these are the metadata tasks. Then coming to the maintenance administration task. So what do you mean maintenance administration? Once the SaaS software has been installed and the environment or the company started using all the clients and all the softwares, then you have to maintain the software also. It comes under maintenance. What's the maintenance? So apply hot fixes. You have to update the licenses. You have to update the host names. You should update the passwords. You should manage the configurations. You should maintain hardware capacity. So this comes under the maintenance administration. So usually what the administrator do, these are the tasks: deployment, metadata management, then maintenance administration, and there are ongoing administration tasks also available. So what are the ongoing administration tasks? So ongoing administration task means maintaining input output throughput, start, stop, or pausing, resuming, refresh the server. Sometimes you should stop the server. Okay, then you should start the server, set up the alerts, backups, scheduling batch tasks, monitor the active servers. Okay, all this comes under the ongoing administration tasks. So these are the administration tasks. So the administrators will be using two types of environment, as you know. One is the management console. So the management console contains different management tools, right? Authorization manager, data library manager, metadata manager. So the consolidation of all the management tools is called the management console. Okay, here these are called the plugins. So for example, in my organization, I'm not using any SPD servers. Okay, then what is the use of adding this SPD management here as a plugin? No need, right? So you can delete it. Means while installation only, what type of administrative tasks you are performing. So based on that, you are adding all the plugins in the management console. Okay, so these are all the plugins. You can install a new plugin also, or else you can delete the unnecessary plugin. It's not required. Then coming to the SaaS environment manager. As I told you, we have two types of the admin tools, management console. There is the environment manager. So usually environment manager server is responsible. Okay, uh, it is mainly to administer and control the servers. Okay, not the, I mean, you can control the environment, means scheduling you can control. Servers you can stop, servers you can restart, you can create a new server. Okay, so plugins will be there in the SaaS environment management, and even this SaaS environment manager server is used in the grid computing also. Okay, so this came after SaaS 9.4 M4. Okay, then this is how the SaaS environment manager looks like. Okay, we have different platforms here, servers, services. So this is the admin thing only. So the administrators, they will access everything through this environment manager, and they will control your environments.
Okay.
Then there's a SaaS platform architecture. Just now I explained you, right? We have four tiers: client tier, middle tier, server tier, data sources. So all these four are interlinked with the metadata. That's why we call this metadata as a centrally located metadata. Means if you don't have the metadata, we cannot connect to the server, we cannot connect to the client also, we cannot connect to the data source or any middle tier. Means all these are binded like a glue. The metadata here works as a glue. It connects to the, I mean, connects to all the environments. So for example, we have some data like Oracle is there. Oracle is a data source present in some other system. So you want to work on it. So what should we do? We have to connect to the Oracle through the metadata server only. So in the metadata server, you will be adding the information about, means you are creating a metadata about the data source. How you are connecting to the data source and how you are uploading the data from Oracle into your system means you'll be using a client, maybe Enterprise Guide, maybe a DA Studio. I'm using a DA Studio. So the DA Studio means client. So you are connecting the client to the database through the metadata server only. So to connect to the Oracle directly, it's not possible to connect. We need a server. What is a server? We need a shared server, or we need a SaaS Connect server, and we need a metadata server, and we need some base workspace server. So utilizing different servers, the clients will connect to the data sources by defining the metadata. Okay. And what are the middle tier? Middle tier means, just now I told you, it's about the uh, web tiers, all the web tiers. Okay. So here there is no use of the web tier. If you want to generate a report, okay, through a web tier, or if you are using a SaaS Studio, so instead of client tier, you'll be using a middle tier. So use the middle tier, connect to the SaaS server, okay, and define the metadata in the metadata server, and then connect to the data source. Okay. So this is a SaaS platform. Then coming to the SaaS platform architecture, again, the same content. Data sources means we have different types of data. Then servers means we have different types of servers. So it's a server tier, this is a data tier, and the middle tier is not nothing but the web tiers. Web tiers. Then the client tiers. Client tiers is the missions which we are working. Okay. So it is another way of representation. Then this is about the client tier. What are all the client tiers? Okay. So desktop clients run on Windows desktops. So, and one more information, all the clients will work only on the Windows environment. in the Unix environment, you can't run any type of the client tier. We can run the web tiers, but not the client tiers in the Unix environment. Okay. Then what is a metadata server? So just now I explained. Metadata server means it is just like a glue, connect to all the environments where we can define the metadata. So without metadata, we cannot define anything. So we cannot define the source, we cannot define any target, and we cannot load any information into the metadata server. I mean, into the metadata, we cannot even write and we cannot even delete the metadata also without the metadata server. So if you want to work in a connected environment, then we need the metadata server, that is mandatory. So 8561 is by default metadata port. Then we have different types of SaaS servers. Just now we discussed object spanner, workspace server, pools workspace server, stored process server, grid server, OLAP server, like that. So what is the advantage with servers? I will explain later. Then coming to the data sources, we have different types of data sources. Middle tiers and the web tiers. So how these web tiers are managed? Usually there is a Java runtime environment that is mandatory, because all the tools, maximum the client tiers are developed on the Java environment. All the SaaS tools were developed on the Java environment. Some tools like dashboards, they developed on the Flash. Okay, but most of the SaaS tools are developed in the Java environment only. Okay. Then middle tier architecture. So middle tier architecture means, for example, we are working on a web report studio. Okay, so how the web report studio, say for example, let us assume the client tier is a web report studio. Okay, so we have different servers here. What are the servers here? Database server means we have some database, okay, present in the server. So using the middle tier means like web applications. Okay, so we'll be connecting to the data server, okay, and connect these to the HTTP server, like a browser, and from the browser, then we will be accessing like in the form of web report studio or in the form of information delivery portal, like that. So anyway, this is a different architecture. So it comes under the BI. It's not needed now. Then yeah, so this is all like web only. It's not needed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, one more important thing here. When you see the environment, so when you see the environment,